If you walk through downtown Washington, D.C. today, you would feel something unsettling in the air. The city still looks impressive from a distance, the monuments still glow at night, and tourists still move around the mall with cameras and backpacks. But once you leave the postcard version of Washington and step into the actual streets where people live and work, you notice something that is hard to ignore. Something feels hollow. Something feels weaker than before. The capital of the richest country in the world is struggling in ways that most people do not see. And the deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. Washington, D.C. is supposed to be one of the most stable places in America. It is the seat of the federal government, the headquarters of massive agencies, contractors, and think tanks. It is where the country's most powerful institutions operate. But right now, the city is showing cracks that have grown so wide they can no longer be brushed aside. Federal job losses, rising homelessness, collapsing retail, empty offices, strained schools, a shrinking tax base, and a transit system running out of money. It is a slow unraveling that has taken shape piece by piece. Let's start with the federal workforce, because that is the backbone of Washington's entire economy. Over the past couple of years, the DC region has lost over 17,000 federal jobs, a drop of about 4.5%. Another breakdown showed more than 22,000 federal employees leaving the region between January and May alone. These are some of the sharpest federal workforce declines the area has seen in a decade, and it is hitting every sector around it. Federal jobs do not vanish quietly. When a federal employee leaves, the money they spent in the city leaves with them. That is a salary that no longer pays for lunch downtown. That is a commuter who no longer takes the metro. That is one less person grabbing coffee, parking their car, paying city taxes, or supporting local businesses. When 17,000 of those workers disappear, the loss is massive. Restaurants feel it, shops feel it, transit feels it, the real estate market feels it, and the people who live in the city feel it every single day. Then there are the headline-making exits that the average American would recognize. CoStar Group, a major real estate data giant, is shifting its headquarters out of downtown DC and into Arlington. That move represents roughly 650 high-paying jobs leaving the city. The United States Department of Agriculture is planning to relocate about 2,600 of its Washington area employees to regional hubs in Indianapolis, Kansas City, Fort Collins, Salt Lake City, and Raleigh. HUD's headquarters is leaving the city as well, a decision expected to save more than $500 million in deferred maintenance, but also another blow to federal presence in the capital. The FBI is planning to reassign around 1,500 employees out of DC as part of its restructuring. These are names everyone in the country recognizes. When they scale back their footprint in Washington, it sends a clear message. All of this is happening at the same time. Washington is facing one of the highest office vacancy rates in the United States. The downtown DC office vacancy sits around 22%, and that number climbs even higher when you look at older Class B and Class C buildings, which are pushing toward 27% vacancy. Entire towers have floors sitting dark at midday. K Street, once the center of lobbying power, looks more like a corridor searching for a new identity. A recent market report showed DC recorded more than 1 million square feet of negative absorption in a single quarter. That means more space is being vacated than leased. It is a sign of a commercial market in retreat. This shift has hit downtown retail even harder. The collapse is impossible to ignore if you walk the city during what used to be Lunch Rush Saks Off 5th. A recognizable national brand, closed its final DC location. Starbucks closed its standalone store in Anacostia. Chinatown, once packed with restaurants, sports venues and shops, now has long rows of dark storefronts. The once luxurious Mazza Gallery Mall is dead and being converted entirely into housing. Many restaurants that depended on office workers have reduced their hours or closed permanently. Some saw reservation drops as high as 30% after increased police and troop presence made parts of the city feel tense and restrictive. Retail follows people. When the people do not come to work anymore, the stores die. When the stores die, the sidewalks empty. And when the sidewalks empty, crime perception grows. Even when crime statistics are improving, it becomes a cycle that chips away at the city's identity. The real estate market shows the strain as well. Home values in Washington, D.C. have fallen about 3.8% over the past year. The average home value sits around $579,000. In a country where cities like Miami, Nashville, and Austin continue to rise, D.C. is slipping backward. This is not the direction a capital city is supposed to move in. The homelessness crisis adds another painful layer to the picture. Washington, D.C. has the highest homelessness rate of any major city in the United States, about 8.3 homeless individuals per 1,000 residents. That is more than triple the national average. The city's annual point-in-time count identified over 5,000 homeless residents. Even though that number dropped slightly compared to the previous year, the rate is still one of the worst in the country. Encampments stretch under underpasses, in parks, and near federal buildings. The city cleared more than 70 encampments last year, yet new ones continue to form as fast as the old ones disappear. Some federal policies even introduced fines or jail time for people refusing shelter placement, and that has sparked heated debates about whether D.C. is addressing homelessness or criminalizing it. Tourism struggles under the weight of all these changes. The city once welcomed over 27 million visitors and brought in over $11 billion in travel spending, but 2025 has been a tougher year. Security zones, troop deployments, police barricades, and negative national coverage have pushed hotel revenue down almost 9% in just 1 month. Major events like World Pride underperformed. Convention organizers have privately raised concerns about the city's unpredictability. D.C. relies heavily on tourism to fill hotels, restaurants, and entertainment venues. When tourism falters, the city feels the hit immediately. The metro system reflects the city's overall health. Built to carry massive flows of federal workers, tourists, and residents, it now faces a major budget crisis. Ridership has not recovered from the pandemic. WMATA has warned of possible service cuts, including entire rail line closures, dozens of bus routes eliminated, and fare increases that would strain lower-income residents. Escalator failures, train delays, and safety incidents add to the uncertainty. A transit system is like a city's bloodstream. When it clots and slows down, the entire body struggles. Public safety remains a complicated part of the story. Crime is not as simple as headlines make it seem. Homicides have actually dropped sharply. The city went from 274 killings one year to 187 the next, a significant decline. Yet the perception of safety has not improved at the same pace. Carjackings hit record highs recently. Some involve teenagers and even children younger than 14. Videos of carjackings spread online, shaping public opinion far more than crime charts ever could. Even if the numbers show improvement, the reputation has already shifted. What makes the situation more intense is the presence of federal law enforcement and National Guard units. Nearly 1,300 personnel have been deployed or positioned in recent months. Their presence signals that Washington is dealing with pressures far beyond normal city management. Armed troops standing near federal buildings cast a shadow that lingers even when crime is falling. It creates an atmosphere that feels tense rather than stable. Then there is the education system, which mirrors the same contradiction you see everywhere in the city. DC public schools have made progress in some areas, but the problems remain heavy. Graduation rates sit around 76%, an improvement compared to a decade ago. Some grade levels show strong learning recovery, but the deeper numbers paint a tougher reality. Around 40% of students are chronically absent. In high schools, that number rises to about 56%. Only around 23% of students meet math proficiency standards. Only about 1 in 5 students hits the SAT college and career readiness benchmark. That is nearly half the national average. The inequality is sharpest in Wards 7 and 8, where poverty, food deserts, and higher crime rates overlap with lower academic performance. A city cannot thrive when such a large portion of its students are not even in class consistently. Schools reflect community health. Chronic absenteeism reflects instability in homes, neighborhoods, and the economy. When the future workforce is already being left behind, the long-term outlook becomes far more fragile. All these struggles crash directly into the city's financial reality. Washington, D.C. is facing a structural budget crisis that could reach nearly $2 billion over the next few years. Office vacancies have crushed commercial tax revenue. Retail losses cut into sales tax. Federal job reductions shrink shrink income tax collections. Metro shortfalls demand more funding. Homelessness services cost more every year. Schools need more support but are stuck inside budget limitations. The city is being stretched in every direction at the same time. This is why Washington, D.C. feels different. The city is not suffering from one big catastrophe that is easy to identify. It is suffering from dozens of smaller problems happening at once. Each one makes the others worse. A shrinking federal workforce weakens the office market. Weak offices hurt downtown retail. Weak retail hurts tourism. Weak tourism hurts revenue. Rising homelessness strains services. Strained services weaken schools. Weak schools push families to leave. Families leaving reduces the tax base, and on it goes. The capital of the United States is entering a period of instability that most people are not paying attention to. The tourist areas still look fine. The monuments still shine. The White House still stands. But a few blocks away, the truth is becoming clearer. Washington, D.C. is struggling to hold itself together. It has survived riots, recessions, political chaos, and national tragedies. But this decline feels different because it is slow and quiet. It is not a dramatic collapse. It is erosion. It is the city fading at the edges rather than breaking all at once. You can see it in the empty offices. You can see it in the closed storefronts. You can see it in the rising homelessness numbers. You can see it in the schools. You can see it in the metro. You can see it in the way people talk about safety. The problems are not theoretical, they are visible, they are real, and they are touching every part of the city's identity. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the free world, yet today it is wrestling with some of the same issues as cities that lack its resources. The signs of decline are everywhere if you know how to read them. The question now is simple. Can the city reverse this before the cracks become too wide to fix? Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you think Washington, D.C. can pull itself out of this, or if this decline is only the beginning.